fine. So I'm ready in any instance of a mall takeover. I can fight them off. This was basically an hour and 30-minute commercial for a multi-tool.
Yes, pretty much.
Hello and welcome back to the 43rd episode of Good, Bad, or Bad Bad, show where we watch terrible movies and tell you if you should too. It's the second Christmas episode. I'm sporting my Darth Vader Christmas shirt. Got your lamp.
Dug a Christmas Story out of the closet.
Christmas Story lamp.
It's very uncomfortable right now.
Good. Just like this movie. We watched Christmas Rush, the 2002
TBS original.
TBS original. I realized 20 minutes in when a commercial break happened, I was like, oh, this must be a made-for-TV film.
Yes.
Because it pauses at a climactic moment, fades to black, and then fades back in. And I was like, wait a second, what happened here?
It's also known as
Breakaway, which I guess maybe they rebranded it after so they could air at times where it's not like sound like a Christmas movie, maybe. I mean, it takes place
the
during
giant Christmas tree that Dean Cain falls.
Yeah,
like,
it's very clearly a Christmas.
Yes.
Everything happens on Christmas Eve, and everything is Christmas everything.
Yeah. This is basically Die Hard in a shopping mall.
It's a Die Hard clone ripoff. Like like No Contest was Die Hard at a beauty pageant. This is Die Hard at a shopping mall the night before Christmas.
So what'd you get Kat for Christmas?
She wanted a scuba diving vacation to the Caribbean, but all I can afford was a snorkel in the bathtub, so...
So, baby oil magic fingers.
You got it, pal. I can't show her the money.
Gotta show her the love.
Yeah.
This movie's a thing. Like... I'll be interested
pretty
to see.
interesting description.
I'm not sure where I'm gonna go with my judgment of what it is, because it kind of doesn't fit our categories in my opinion. But we'll get there when we get there. This movie takes place, like we said, on Christmas Eve mostly
In Chicago,
at the most exclusive shopping mall in Chicago.
I've never been to Chicago.
The Chicago Place.
Have you been to Chicago
Yeah.
Place? I know you've been to Chicago. But have you been to Chicago Place?
No.
Right.
Is that even a real thing?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Yeah, we're dumb.
It's clearly a mall, but I think I saw most of this was shot in Canada. So like most movies, cheap movies are, because it's cheap to shoot in Canada. So yeah. I'm sure it's just some random shopping mall in Canada somewhere.
It's no secret we're Cardinals fans, so Chicago can kind of go screw itself.
So yeah, it's the most exclusive shopping mall, they say, which is if that isn't to tell you the time that this movie takes place, when shopping malls were exclusive.
For those of you who just got off the broccoli boat, Chicago Place is the most exclusive shopping mall in the Chicago area.
The Chicago Place. There's a few things that date this movie so beautifully.
Oh, yes.
The cell phones are one.
Yes, my favorite one is the cell phone with the extending antenna that Eric Roberts holds every time.
By the antenna like a fucking weirdo.
Go.
Every time he answered the phone, I'm like, did people do that? He holds it. I don't even have a good way to, like, he holds it by the antenna and talks into it. Like,
I have some 2G cell phones still that don't even have that. So I
don't know. It's so strange. He holds it by the antenna, and I'm like, did nobody tell him how to use a phone? How to hold a cell phone? That's not a thing. Somebody will tell me that that's how they held their cell phone. You're still a weirdo. I don't. That's a weird thing to do.
Go.
So the whole premise of this movie wouldn't work if it was current day, because one, malls don't exist anymore. They're dying. They do, but like not really.
Also, it's like Mall of America, which is just a tourist destination.
And two, nobody pays with cash anymore. So
very true.
So like, because the premise is that on Christmas, like the days before Christmas, this mall pulls in millions of dollars in cash on Christmas presents, and it's always there every night.
At the end of each business day, 57 retailers deposit their cash receipts in their basement vault. Once a week, a CST armored car drives that money to the Northern Trust Bank.
And so Eric Roberts, the brilliant Eric Roberts, decides he's going to knock over this mall with a crack team of misfits.
God.
And then score all this money because nobody's ever tried to rob Chicago
Talk
Place.
about this crack team.
This crack team, I don't even remember any of their names.
There is Wayne and Kid Blast. They're the
They're the
demolition
demolitions
experts.
guys. They're brothers. And yeah, they have like grenades and bombs and shit.
Flame on.
There's the Russian guy or Eastern European guy.
The giant dude?
Yes, which my favorite thing ever in the history of the world. Let me find it. I thought we'd get to this later, but here it is. So the Eastern European guy, he actually is of Eastern European descent. His father's Serbian. I think I looked at because I looked up his IMDb page. His name is Alex Ponovich. This is from his IMDb page.
Oh boy.
His description, you know, like the little thing next to your name where you can put like your biography in. So, I don't know who wrote this, but it's amazing. Alex Ponovich was born in Winnipeg, Manitoba, to a Croatian mother and a Serbian father. The result of this remarkable blend of bloodlines is the 6'5", ruggedly handsome actor appearing on screens around the world at a rapidly escalating rate.
Holy shit!
Like, who wrote that? Was his agent
wrote
write
that.
that? Did he write that? Like,
I'm sure if he wrote it, it'd probably be more broken English.
yeah, well, his English was fine because he's from Canada. Like,
he probably was putting on an accent.
So you won't put lump of coal in my stocking, huh?
Yeah, he was putting. I mean, he may have some sort of an accent, but like he's lived in Canada his whole life.
Yeah.
But I just love
That's amazing.
the result of this remarkable blend of bloodlines as a 6'5", ruggedly handsome actor appearing on screens around the world at a rapidly escalating rate. I don't know when this was written because I've never seen this guy in anything.
That is amazing. I want that on my little
I have an IMDb.
Same here.
Yeah.
I have an IMDb.
I didn't even make it. It just appeared one day. I'm like, who did this?
I had to supply information because apparently there's more than one Kyle Hinton out there.
I'm the only Brian Shilligo in the entire world.
Lucky
it's
you.
true.
I had to compete with like cinematographers from Pittsburgh or something.
So yeah, that's that guy. And then there's a couple other guys that are like irrelevant and
There's the Simless dude who's like
the guy with the long dark hair.
Yeah, he's one who like always asks questions. He's always second guessing stuff. That's
Yeah.
his whole thing. And then there's the fat driver dude.
Oh yeah, who
who
just
has the
disappears.
he just has the easiest job.
You got 1 hour.
I'll see you in the Great White North.
You betcha, you hoser.
His job is to he knocks out the guy who drives like the armored truck that transports the money, steals the truck, and then calls a tow truck.
Yep.
And then sits in his van for an hour, and then we never see him again in the movie.
Easiest job.
He leaves 5 minutes in.
Not only is
gone.
this the easiest job, it's the one most likely to get away with everything.
Yeah, he's just like, if nobody ever shows up, he just drives away and or just gets out of the truck and walks away, and he's fine.
Yep.
So the opening scene though is Dean Cain. He's a police officer in Chicago. Him and his partner are scoping out. They apparently got tipped off that a breaking and entering was going to happen at this Chinese restaurant
like
or something,
it's not triad, but it's like a Chinese mafia kind of
some sort of gang or something. Yeah. And there's a sweet kung fu fight breaks out in the middle of the street,
just
and I love
randomly.
and they just start beating the shit out of each other.
Ooh.
And I love there's one shot in particular right at the end of it as everybody's like the fight's like over. And one guy just does that thing where he runs up the wall and does a flip off it and lands for no reason.
Yes.
0% reason. He just does it because it looks cool. And they're like, ha. And
We paid for this guy. Just do a thing. Just do a thing.
We paid for these stuntmen to do some cool stuff. Do that thing where you flip off the wall. Why? Just fucking do it. It's cool looking. All right. Emmerich.
Hold on to those eggs, dear.
The guy who directed this, wrote and directed this, wrote Jim Cotta. One of the
That
famously
does not surprise me.
classic.
Here's the
bad
thing.
films.
There are action scenes in this
Yeah.
film that are really good.
Yeah. It's actually not. That's why I said it's not the worst movie in the world. Like it's got a lot of what it is the most derivative, and I'm gonna steal everything. Like let me take everything from every movie.
Yeah, there's definitely a good hint of minus some birds, some John Woo to it.
John Woo, The Matrix, in particular, the moment when our band of bad guys walk into the mall and it goes into slow-mo. The music playing is like music from The Matrix in like the shootout scene. And then it's in slow-mo. Everything in this movie is in slow-mo because this came out 3 years after the
movies
Matrix.
are the scenes are in slow-mo, not the camera.
No. Yeah. And that one scene, they're all walking, they're all wearing black trench coats. You know what I mean? Like it's just like very, and then, but everything, there's the spinny cam shots of Michael Bay. Stolen. There's the fucking direct Jurassic Park, the scene where the banner falls down at the end of Jurassic Park is like shot for shot ripped off, where a Christmas banner falls in the exact same way. There's all kinds of stuff that is just pulled directly out of other films and just rolled up into this. I mean, and then and most obviously, it's just a direct Die Hard ripoff.
Yeah,
and with a bit of Die Hard 3, like some of the towards the end, the plot of going through the tunnels and that sort of thing, which we'll get to because that part is stupid. Okay, so after they wait for after the gangs beat up each other, and then one of them goes in. They're like, we can go get him now, but he goes, wait, we got him for that's just assault. We want to get him for
more assault,
armed robbery, or something like that.
Let's take him.
We got assault. We're waiting for armed robbery.
And so they all the cop cars come out and park around this place.
We got them for crime. We need to get them for
more crime.
More crime.
Yeah, and so I guess they steal some stuff, and the guy comes out, and all the cop cars.
Oh yeah, there's like 8 of them that just pop out.
Yeah, all the cop cars are just everywhere with their lights on and stuff, and there's cops just everywhere. And so the guys come back out, and then they get into like a yelling match.
Now, what did you think of Dean Cain's wardrobe for this?
Oh, the backwards baseball hat.
He's got like a gray hoodie and
with
a
the
police
bulletproof vest.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
very Boston/Chicago cap.
you can totally see Mark Wahlberg in that.
Yeah, it's kind of great.
What? No.
And so they have this face-off, and they start yelling at each other, and then just randomly, this little old woman
Lord, this is
walks out of an adjacent store
not
or
even
something.
Completely unaware. Oh, there's police cars.
Just lay him down. Hey, get back inside! Back inside!
Gunfire.
Well, I don't know if gunfire has happened yet. I don't think they've shot yet, but they're yelling at each other. I don't think anybody's shot any guns yet. But they're yelling at she walks out with her head down, carrying bags, and just walks directly. There's like 9 cop cars with their lights on everywhere, and she's completely oblivious. And the dude grabs her.
So dumb.
Like the main bad guy grabs her. And then they like yell at each other some more, and Dean Cain says his line, "There's the easy way and hard way," or something, like, because he says it like 9 times in this movie.
There's an easy way and there's a hard way.
And then they shoot at each other. And I say they shoot at each other. The main guy who's been pointing his gun directly at Dean Cain for this whole conversation, all of a sudden sprays off like 30 bullets, hits nobody.
Yep.
Nobody. I was like, because it's so weirdly edited, because he's like pointing it right at Dean Cain, and then he shoots a bunch of bullets. Nobody else shoots yet, and then it cuts to Dean Cain, and he's just standing
more than once in the scene.
Yes, it does. Just spraying bullets, and I'm like, and then it cuts to Dean Cain, and he's fine, no bullets anywhere, and then he just shoots them. So he shoots a guy, kills him, and then in the process of this, there's a
business guy.
Like they say, it's like some higher up in some Chinese businessman.
Yeah, but for all we see, it's just some dude,
some guy. Yeah.
And Dean Cain, puts around. Does it go
he
through
misses.
him?
I don't know if it goes through him. I think he misses once. He hits him once, and then he misses once as he's falling. And that last round, like hits this dude in the ass.
Yes.
This random bystander in the ass or something, and I love when Dean Cain walks up to him after the guy goes, "Get away! You shot me."
Get away. You shot me.
You shot me. Oh, I love it. So then follow up is Dean Cain gets suspended.
For what, you ask?
Suspension, pending outcome of IAD investigation.
Chief,
Star and peace.
My guess, and now because I was confused, I was like, wait, is it because he shot that guy? It must be because he accidentally shot that guy, because the way they almost make it sound like they're suspending him because there was a shootout, like that's his fault.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, but it's not his fault.
Even if the dude got shot, it's like this is an active shooting situation. Things are forgiven at this point when there is hundreds and hundreds of rounds being fired off.
Yeah, that because those criminals start spraying bullets at the cops like indiscriminately, and then so they start shooting them. But
now, granted, I'm gonna say this, not good.
No,
but at the same time, it's understandable.
Yeah. Well, I guess I get the suspension and investigation. Sure, fine. You know what I mean? Like there's a shooting a civilian got a hit. It would make sense to do a suspension and investigate while figure that shit out.
Yeah.
But I thought. Because originally I wasn't sure if that was why. I thought like they were mad at him that there was a shootout, and I'm like, you guys brought 9 cop cars and surrounded him. What did you think was gonna happen? Like either they were gonna, I don't know. So he gets suspended, and then so he goes home, and he's telling me this is where he meet his family, his beautiful wife and kids. They're decorating the Christmas tree, and he says, "Oh, I'm gonna be home a lot this season because I got suspended."
I'll be around quite a bit this holiday season.
How long will the suspension last?
Yay, again.
Yeah.
Like, literally, his wife's like, how long is it going to last this time?
I was just like, wait, is Dean Cain? Are you that cop, Dean Cain? So explain this to me. I don't understand. When they're having that conversation, he says something about being a copper.
Honey, you walk down the aisle with a copper.
Yeah.
And she says,
I have no clue.
Okay, I tried to Google. I couldn't figure out why she was so mad. She goes, it says like, I'm a copper. You knew what you were getting into when you married a copper, I believe is what he says.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't like that term.
I don't like that word.
Why not?
You know why.
I don't like that word. I'm like, what, copper?
Yeah.
Like, it's like a 20s, like, yeah, coppers are gonna get like, what?
Yeah,
what? Yeah, like, you don't like that term? Am I missing some sort of...
And then they bring up something about Dean Cain's dad being a dirty cop.
Eventually, yeah, way later in the movie, we find out his dad was on the take, was a dirty cop. But like, I was like...
I don't like that word.
Why not?
You know why.
Why did copper is what? I must not get some sort of frame, like there must be something that I don't get about that word. And so I went Googling and I could find nothing other than that's what people used to call cops in the 20s. I'm like, all right, I don't know.
Oh, and Dean Cain's character's name is like the greatest character name ever. Cornelius Morgan.
Cornelius Morgan. There's no good way to, how do you shorten Cornelius? Corny? Neil?
No.
Probably Neil. Ugh, gross. Oh, and also in that scene, they mentioned that they're in a lot of debt, and that they're hurting for cash.
My hours are maxed out at the goldsmith morgue. So are the credit cards.
I know.
And so she goes, we could send our kids to public school.
Yes.
We could send the kids to Sutherland.
Yes.
Dean Cain loses his shit. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? We're not sending our kids to dirty, gross, common public school.
Public school? In this town? Are you kidding me?
Then what do you suggest?
Now, for the record, it is Chicago.
There's plenty of good public schools in Chicago. I am sure of it. There's plenty of great public schools in Chicago. But he's like, no. Are you trying to insinuate our kids are some sort of commoner? They are not dirty plebs. They will go to private school. Yeah. Like, he's like the last possible thing on his plate is that those kids will go to public school. Like, all right, Dean Cain, calm down.
Public school.
So then we get to the Christmas show, Christmas pageant.
Yes,
and we meet
have a recital.
And Eric Roberts is there because his son is performing, and Dean Cain and them are there because their daughter is performing. And this is my favorite thing. So they all perform, and then they're standing around afterwards. And Eric Roberts is talking to his wife.
Yes.
Having a loudly whispered conversation.
What is wrong with his son?
He has leukemia.
I thought he was in remission.
He was, but the leukemia is back, and it's spreading.
And that's not funny, but the fact that they are having a loud whispered conversation right after the Christmas recital, he's like,
yeah,
his leukemia's back. He's gonna need a bone marrow transport.
He needs a bone marrow transplant. It's gonna cost $250,000.
And
then the multiple things they talk, and this thing drove me wild, is like the financial issues with the treatment and stuff like that.
Yeah,
where I'm just like, there's St. Jude, there's Shriners, stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe.
These are hospitals specifically designed so people don't have to pay for that.
Yeah, when you have a child with cancer or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know about the specifics, but I just love, like, that is the worst time to have that conversation. Good job at your performance, son. By the way, what do we do about his cancer? Like, right after it ends, and he's sitting right there. Like, okay. And it's just so we can get the backstory on Eric Roberts.
I would love for them to just have that come to fruition at the end, where it's like, you know, you could have just gone to like St. Jude or something.
But then Dean Cain couldn't have given him the check that they clearly couldn't cash because it's got Dean Cain's name on it. And then so this is where apparently we find out that Eric Roberts and Dean Cain knew each other.
And Eric Roberts, being a master thief that he is, has a reputation.
Yeah, they all know him. They're like, remember you're the best at thief.
I'm a retired thief now, which means all my illegal activity is wiped clean.
Once a thief, always a thief. Yeah, Jimmy Scout was good, but not quite good enough. Morgan and me dropping down to Joliet for his last stretch. When was that, Jimmy? 96?
Yeah, they said he served time and then he's out. And so there's some repartee between him and his partner, Dean Cain's partner, and then Eric Roberts, and they like spar, blah, yell at each other.
What, you lost, Jimmy? The Felons Jamboree is down at the Armory.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Morgan.
And then I don't know what happens here, but the next day they're at church or something. And then why did they get into a fight? Why does Dean Cain and his wife yell at each other? Why did they get into a fight? Because they end up getting on bad terms, and she leaves. I did not care. I was like, this is the boring part. Get to the shooty bang bang. I don't care about all this.
Point being is they get into a
fight, and
she's got to go to work anyway.
She's got to go to work. She works in the mall
as
a jewelry salesperson.
Oh my God, Morg, what are we gonna do?
We can always be on the snowball fight.
Do you think this is a joke?
Yeah, it's a real thigh slapper, honey. Don't be stupid.
I'm late.
So, and this is where when she's like, I gotta go to work and leave. I'm like, well, they left on bad terms, so I'm sure nothing terrible will happen to her. And now nothing super terrible ever. Yeah, I was like, I'm sure she'll be fine, and they won't regret leaving on bad terms with each other.
Don't be stupid.
So then he's hanging out with his kids at his mother-in-law's, and his Jewish lawyer calls because you know he's a lawyer. So
hey. You know.
All right, thanks, pal. Yeah, happy Hanukkah.
He goes, happy Hanukkah, and hangs up the phone.
We'll ever be like, that was like a week ago.
Yeah,
Oh.
right. He's just like, fucking goddamn it, Dean Cain. He says, his lawyer hangs it up and he's like, he says Happy Hanukkah every time I hang up the phone with him in the middle of fucking July. He says Happy Hanukkah. I'm beginning to think it's not about wishing me merry tidings.
Yeah, Happy Hanukkah.
So this is where we get to the mall. And we're introduced to Drunk Santa.
Yes.
Who's amazing.
Yes.
He's only in it a little bit. But my favorite thing about Drunk Santa is that he has a giant fake beard and hair, and then he takes it off, and he looks like fucking Santa. I was like, you already got it going, dude.
What it reminds me of, there's this internet video out there somewhere of this guy with a bucket on his head, and he like takes it off, and he has another bucket on his head.
Like what it's like.
The campaigner climbed onto the roof of a car with a blue light near the Kremlin before making his escape. Well, the misuse of blue light.
He's like, oof, done being Santa, still Santa.
Just when I thought it was safe to get out of this monkey suit.
I'm like, what? And now I guess maybe the mall was like, you don't look Santa-y enough or whatever. But it's like, he looks just like Santa. And so a little girl runs up, because the mall's closing. And the little girl runs up, though. She's got to get her list in for Santa.
Oh
and this fucking Christmas list she has might be my favorite thing in the movie. Because if you pay attention, I wrote them all down. All the things she asked for are like the most specific 2002 things you could possibly ask for.
One of them, what was it, a Palm Pilot, right? Or something like that? Or
here's what she wants.
Oh, God. All right.
She wants a deluxe Razor scooter.
As we know, it's called the ankle breaker.
Yeah, the ankle breaker. Razor scooter, which there's nothing more early 2000s than a fucking radio
Hey,
scooter.
I had one.
An REI mountain bike.
Okay.
A Sony PlayStation.
Yeah.
And a Palm Pilot 7 with wireless internet access.
I want an REI mountain bike, a Razor Deluxe scooter, a Palm Pilot 7 with wireless internet access, I want a Sony PlayStation.
God, man.
Such a great list. And I actually had to wonder if they weren't sponsored, or like if that wasn't like some sort of sponsored thing, because they say all of those again later in the film.
Like the REI mountain bike. And the Razor Deluxe scooter. And the Palm Pilot 7 with the wireless internet access.
And it's a character moment for the Santa, like, oh, he's a drunk Santa. Oh,
Yeah.
he actually was listening. But like, they repeat them all word for word again.
Like, I know these are from the 90s, but just add these onto the list. Tamagotchi pet.
Yeah.
Kirby.
Yeah. Well, and then my favorite thing, which doesn't date it, is that also, can I get a new puppy because my last one got run over by a snowplow?
I want a new puppy because my old one got hit by a snowplow.
In case you're wondering, that's pretty low to the ground.
Yeah, no, it got extruded between a snowplow and the street.
It goes on for like 500 yards.
It's just a smear. Oh,
God.
And then this is the moment with the big badass slow-mo walk-in of all the criminals.
Yes.
With the great Matrix music. And I love, it's just like, yeah, nobody mind all of these guys in floor-length black trench coats walking into a mall
With
after
giant
hours.
duffel
bags full of stuff. I'm like, nobody pay any mind to these guys. I'm sure they have good intentions.
Well, how many security guards do we see in this mall?
One?
Yeah.
We see one.
One.
Yeah, and he's with initially with the wife and he's like, because she's closing up later or whatever. So then Dean Cain sees these guys and he's like, oh, because he went to the mall to apologize.
Yeah, well, he saw Eric Roberts.
Yeah. And he went to the mall to apologize to his wife. He gets flowers. But then he sees these guys, so he kind of follows them. He's like, whoa, what are they up to? And then they go down an elevator, and Dean Cain just gung-ho goes for it, and then shimmies down the elevator cable after them. And then this is where the actual fucking interesting part of the movie kicks off. So he at some point he did have a gun. Because he's a cop, I guess he just carries a gun on his ankle all the time.
Not only does he have
clips.
Yes, 3 magazines.
Duct tape, not duct taped, but on like an ankle holster thing.
We got to say magazine.
Was it magazine? Is that the right?
Because that one person.
That one person in the comment section will be like, actually, it's not a magazine. It's a clip. It's not a clip. It's a whatever.
Whatever.
I appreciate it. Thank you for correcting us. We strive for accuracy here.
Yes.
And then so eventually they get the money in this giant steel plate or like diamond plate box.
Yeah.
And Dean Cain swipes it.
That whole thing, I was like, that's just a laundry cart.
Yeah. That they put that like cheap like stuff you can get to like coat up like a truck
He
bed.
steals it with minimal effort. And nobody, people, the only reason they notice is, yeah.
And he takes it, he runs away, and he goes and he hides it in a bathroom stall. I guess that's as good a place as any. That is a roomy. He must have used the handicap accessible one because that is a roomy bathroom stall to fit that giant fucking box in it. And then
at this point, he's trying to call his partner.
Yes.
To say what's up. And the Russian, or is he supposed to be Russian, or is he supposed to be the giant?
Eastern European of some sort. I don't know. Yeah.
Shows up with like what is that gun? It's
a bunch of them have like automatic shotguns or something, or I guess it's a rifle. I don't know, but it's got a giant magazine, like a drum.
It's a drum shotgun.
Yeah. It's like an A12 or AA12 or whatever, but those weren't out yet. I don't think. I don't know.
I do not really want to shoot you, officer. It is just I sent a cart full of money.
Oh, but right before that, this is one of my favorite lines in the whole movie. Before we get to their big fight scene. Well, one, after he steals the money, this is when they hit the first commercial break, and I was like,
yes.
We're doing commercials in this. All right, cool. And then also, Eric Roberts delivers a great classic, super cliche line where he goes, "Oh, you want to play? Let's play."
You want to play? Okay, let's play.
Like, oh god, all right. The other best line in the whole movie, though, in my opinion, is what's his name? The long-haired guy is talking.
Simius?
Yeah, that maybe is talking to Eric Roberts, and he says, because this is after Dean Cain steals the money. He says if he breaks any window in the mall, any store window, all of the store alarms will start ringing their heinies off.
All the internal store alarms will start ringing their heinies off.
A hardened criminal in the middle of robbing a mall says the word heinies.
Yes.
All the internal store alarms will start ringing their heinies off. Ringing their heinies off.
Ringing their heinies off? Is this because it must have been because it was on TBS?
Yeah, probably.
And he couldn't say, I guess he couldn't say ass. I don't know. Ringing their heinies off? I was like, oh, okay. So this is the fight. Big fight. Russian, this is Rocky IV.
Also, it's 2002?
Two is when this came out.
So it would it be before the whole South Park making shit pretty much a TV thing?
Making what?
The shit episode?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, and you can get away with what, honestly, because on cable, I found this out in college, they can do whatever the fuck they want. They could say fuck, dick, show boobs, and they can show porn if they wanted to, because they're not regulated by the FCC. They just don't for their own reasons. But, so then, yeah, they fight each other a lot. And I think my favorite part of the fight is when they're both holding guns, kicking each other.
Yes. I was like, what is that stupid? Or I say stupid. It's the shin kicking competition in like England.
I've never seen this. No,
or maybe it's in Ireland. It's in the UK area.
Yeah.
And you grab each other by the like the forearm.
Yeah.
And you like kick each other's shins until somebody falls.
This sounds like the worst thing ever.
Yes.
That's what they do.
It's a shin kicking competition.
That's exactly what they do. They're just like I also love when their fight starts. It goes into super slow-mo, and they both shoot like 50 rounds at each other, and neither of them hit a single thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just like blah blah.
Which
blah,
makes
missing
more
him.
sense for Dean Cain. He's got a little, you know,
Well, and in that, and the guy's like hiding behind a thing. Dean Cain is just running out in the open and does not get hit once.
Can't touch this.
Yeah. And then so eventually, I don't remember what happens, but they end up where Dean Cain gets thrown over the railing and is holding because he has two guns.
Yeah.
And he's holding them both, the shotgun and the pistol, and then so the Russian guy just drops him.
Yeah.
And he falls. And then for some reason, because the Russian's an idiot, doesn't realize
he's holding on to an angel that's wired up there.
Right. Yeah, he lands on like an angel that's hanging there. Symbolism. But apparently the Russian guy doesn't notice that Dean Cain's still holding his gun. Like.
And Dean Cain just like, oh, okay.
And then
Boom.
shoots him, yeah. Shoots him like kind of in the shoulder area and he falls over. And then Dean Cain, the angel falls and he lands on a Christmas tree.
And then, I mean, this is a major drop.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
This whole thing is like, what, like probably 50 feet?
40, 50 feet, yeah. And then the tree falls over, but luckily he lands in Santa's playland in a nice snowy cotton bank or whatever.
Yeah.
Like fake snow.
Apparently it's still enough to like wreck him. Though.
Yeah, apparently like knocks him out because he just lays there forever. I'm like, because they cut back and they show him and one of the other guys comes to check and Dean Cain is still laying there on the ground.
Just falls. Yeah, I'm gonna just lay here for a bit.
I was like, wait, did Dean Cain decide to take a nap after he fell off the thing?
All right, so the Similis dude, he sees that his Russian buddy's been shot, checks him, and he checks his vitals, I guess, and he's like, "You killed my best friend." And,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Which is important later because
he's
not really.
He's not dead.
But he's going after Dean Cain, and they have like a shootout through a bunch of storefronts.
Yeah, like this is like one of the best parts of the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some there's a point where Dean Cain's like shooting at him, and the dude's like jumping past a gumball machine.
Yeah,
that breaks apart.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
gumballs
awesome.
go everywhere. And yeah, and then this is where he gets little hints of Home Alone, where he like gets the soap and dumps it on the floor, like booby traps and. So they're having this fight, and also the guy has the shotgun from Jurassic Park, the Spaz 12 with the foldable stock thing. I mean, lots of movies have that, but yeah. So they're fighting through like a Macy's initially, and then they end up in a sporting goods store.
Which at a mall they have guns that you can just buy.
It's like God bless America. It's fucking walk into a shopping mall and there's just shotguns everywhere.
Well, Dean Cain's like trying to get this gun going together, and he's like, "There's a trigger lock." Of course, there's a trigger lock.
It's in a mall. Yeah, it's just sitting there. Trigger lock. And then and nothing comes of it. He goes into trigger like shit, and he's like going through like key ring of like 50 keys trying to find the one that unlocks it. But then the guy catches up to him in time.
And he keeps the whole thing about this whole shootout is him blasting a whole bunch of mannequins.
Yeah,
which is important later.
Yeah,
because he's gonna fire at what is Dean Cain, but he just thinks it's a mannequin.
Yeah, but before we get to that, that's the big climax, the big moment. My favorite part of the scene is the hockey part.
Oh, right. Yes.
I was like, we can't forget about the hockey part.
Yeah, he just takes a bunch of pucks and just starts slapping them into the guy.
He pulls out a hockey stick, disarms the guy, because at this point the guy unlocked dual wielding and has a Spaz 12 in one hand and a Beretta or something in the other. And Dean Cain, in like 3 hits, knocks both weapons out of this guy's hand. And then I wrote, this was my train of thought as I was watching the movie. So help me if he starts shooting hockey pucks at that. Oh my God, he's shooting hockey pucks at that guy.
If we can just get the master cut of all the times that Brian's gone.
That's how I'm prepared to read. That's my preparing to read noise. So they fight with hockey sticks, and then so then it becomes like a house of mirrors. Like he's like mirrors. He's shooting at mirrors because Dean Cain disappeared into the darkness, and he's shooting mannequins, which is because there's like like random mannequins.
But he shoots. He's like, it's just another mannequin, and it's Dean Cain with a bow, and he shoots the dude.
Arrow right in the chest or in the shoulder. And now this one was weird because I don't know if you noticed this. he shoots that guy, and the guy falls down and is like, I guess dying or whatever. And then they cut away to something, and then they cut back.
Yeah, and he's patched up.
Yes. Did Dean Cain patch him up?
Dean Cain's a good guy.
I guess, but like, to me, it looked like he died in the last scene, and then they show him, and yeah, he's got a bandage. I'm like, all right. I guess they're going for like TV movie, fun family movie. He didn't actually die.
I can't talk, but Jimmy Scalzetti is taking down Chicago Place.
What?
Yes, and I am right in the middle of it.
I'm on my way.
Watch yourself coming in, okay? He's got at least 2 bomb guys laying booby traps.
I'll bring the cavalry.
Somebody actually does die, and that's what's his name, the boomer
Wayne.
guy. Yeah. And then so it cuts back to because they have all the hostages in one room. And it cuts back, and now at this point, his wife is there.
Yes.
She has been captured.
This is an amazing scene.
This is a great.
All right,
funny
so she's
scene.
trying to calm everybody down and stuff.
Yeah,
It's like, what is everybody's favorite Christmas
like
memories?
say your favorite Christmas memory, and they go around.
I took my wife on safari to East Africa. We had Christmas dinner out on the Serengeti Plain.
And then other people.
And then they go, Rashid.
Rashid?
I am a Muslim.
I'm a Muslim.
Pause. Next.
I'm a Muslim.
Okay.
I just love. She has zero idea how to handle that. She's like, okay. I don't know.
Not even like, I don't know, Ramadanic.
Yeah, or she's like, well, what is your favorite holiday memory? You could spin that question. You know. But sure, okay, just move on. Moving on.
I'm a Muslim.
And then so the little girl is still freaking out at this moment.
Wish my daddy was here.
And she's talking to Santa, and Santa, this is where he repeats the list of things. And then she goes, there's really only one thing I want for Christmas this year.
There's only one present I really want.
Which one?
And Santa goes, what's that? And I so desperately thought...
My dad.
No. Well, that would have been good too. But I so desperately thought she was going to say, to live.
There's only one present I really want.
Which one?
To live. Like, but it is kind of what she says. She just doesn't say that. She goes, I just want to be home for Christmas.
Yeah.
Which one?
I want to be home for Christmas.
Not in a scary moment.
I if they would have gone with like, I want my daddy to be alive again.
Santa's like, well, I can be your new daddy, girl.
That's just a face I imagine for people. It's the Seinfeld face where it's like, I want something impossible. He's like,
There's only one present I really want.
Which one?
To live. Oh, commercial break.
Yes.
Morgan's cat. He's got me.
Cat, listen to me.
So this is where he encounters the two, the explosive guys, the explosive brothers, the bomb brothers. He ties a rope. Dean Cain ties like a rope harness on himself and ties it to like a workout bike or something, and rappels down behind them with a shotgun as they're like walking, because they just blew up a bathroom looking for him, and
they destroyed a bathroom.
Throw grenades into it and unload a bunch of rounds. And I guess he wasn't in that one. And so he gets them, and then so they put their guns down, and then one of them has a smoke grenade.
My favorite part of that is like, should have checked the women's room.
Yeah. When they're like, Dean Cain comes behind him and goes, I guess he was in the ladies' room.
Must have been in the ladies' room.
It's a pretty good line. They get into a fight because the guy pulls a smoke grenade and they pick back their guns and they get into a shootout and that sort of thing. And they throw a grenade at Dean Cain, and Dean Cain dives away from it, but is still like 4 feet from it. He would be dead. Because it is like a pineapple, like the shrapnel, the ones that make shrapnel, and it's like a 20-foot radius or something like that.
That's the best way to survive a grenade blast is to get flat on the ground.
Yeah, but he's not. He's in the air diving.
Oh, right,
he is diving in the air when it goes off, and it's right behind him.
Get some shrapnel in the ass, but you don't live.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he got a little shrapnel in the butt. And then so then they get into another store, like an electronics store. There's a shootout and that sort of thing. And then he ends up killing.
Well, he puts like a round or two into
his chest,
and the guy was getting ready to drop a grenade, and he drops it right in front of him. Oh,
yeah. He gets ready to drop a grenade or throw a grenade while saying his beautiful tagline: "Flame on,
flame on,
flame on."
Because why not just steal more things from other things?
As we've stated earlier, as been stated earlier in the film, is psycho kid brother.
Psycho.
Who is
Nah. Not as long as you take care of your psycho brother out of your end.
pretty damn reasonable through.
Very reasonable. Yes. Like I was like, they keep calling him a psycho, and he's like, you're working with people that are off the wall.
Jimmy, you've always been a class act, a professional. This isn't your game. Hostages, bomb throwers, casualties. What are you doing?
Like, because like Dean Cain keeps saying like, these guys aren't your normal crew. They're like crazy, and I'm like, nobody in this movie ever does anything crazy. They all, like, for the most part, other than this part right after his brother is murdered,
yes,
where he's like considers blowing up.
It takes like 5 pounds of C4. And he's getting ready to blow up an entire section of Chicago.
He pulls out a block of C4 that is legitimately this big.
Yes, and he's just putting the electrical dials into
the detonators in it. It's like 4 or 5 pounds of C4. And Dean Cain rightfully says that would blow up the fucking Empire State Building or whatever. Like, that would bring down this whole building.
Hey, you sure you want to do that?
Shut up!
You could bring down the Hancock building with that thing.
And then, but he gets him to talk to Eric Roberts on the radio, and Eric Roberts is like, dude, get back down here. This is about the money. Stop being fucking crazy.
Like, oh, okay.
All right, he's like, all right, cool. And then they go back downstairs. And then this is where Dean Cain goes to get the money because he finds out that he has his wife. Because at one point, the little girl had to pee, and she ruined everything, so fuck her.
I have to go pee-pee.
Rora.
Hey! Open this door!
You. I can use you.
But he goes to the bathroom and it's not there, but he sees a trail of blood.
Yes.
Now, both
I thought it was the bow guy.
Yeah, because we saw him still alive and he
got patched up. So I figured it was him, but it's not. It's the Eastern European dude who somehow knew he put the money there. I'm not really sure how he figured that out. Maybe there's a line about it. But so they get into another fight. Him and Dean Cain get into another fight. And Dean Cain gets stabbed. He's getting choked like a motherfucker, and then the dude stabs him in the leg, and then Dean Cain manages to wrestle his gun out of his waist and shoot him. And now I was like, he shoots him like in the side. I'm like, that guy would have stabbed him like 8 more times, and like he didn't die instantly from getting shot through the gut. Like he could have stabbed him a bunch more times, but luckily he doesn't. And then so Dean Cain gets the money because Eric Roberts was just about to kill his wife. He's like, you got like 30, or you got like a minute to get the money and tell me where to meet so we can trade. And so he gets it, and then he doesn't shoot his wife. And so they set up a meeting point, and they're going to trade his wife for the money.
I gotta say, the way that was executed, this meeting point thing, works so well.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
That's weird how that, of all the bad stuff in this film, like that's
it was a really interesting idea because he takes it because they used the setting of the movie to kind of facilitate the trade-off. He puts it on the. I'm a little not sure how the giant heavy metal cart didn't just bang down the escalator when he set it on it. Yeah. It stays on it and rides it down. So he gets it and they give him his wife. His wife goes up, grabs the box, sends it down to them, and this whole time, the guy, the crazy guy, has his gun trained on the
barrel.
Wife. Like rifle, I don't know. It looks like a rifle.
Crazy.
And he's got it trained on Dean Cain's wife the whole time. And I kept thinking he was gonna shoot her because we've talked about how crazy this guy is the whole movie, and he wants revenge for his brother being killed, but then he doesn't.
Got it.
So the trade goes off without a hitch. Crazy guy doesn't shoot his wife, even though that would have been way more interesting. I thought like right as she got to him, he was gonna shoot her, which would have been fun. But doesn't happen, so they're together. Dean Cain gives her a gun, and he goes off to try to stop him because they're gonna get out. They're about to get away with the money. figures that somehow Dean Cain immediately figures out that they're in the basement area.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how, he just shows up there and it's like, well, found you, and then drives a fucking forklift into him. And what they're gonna do, their plan, and this is where they steal from
This is so dumb.
Die Hard 3 a little bit, is they're gonna blow a hole in the floor. Eric Roberts has blueprints of like tunnels under the city, and they're gonna blow a hole in the floor, and then
what's down there waiting for them?
Go-karts.
Like off-road
go-karts,
off-road vehicle,
which we will get to because it's the dumbest thing in this whole movie. But first, we got to talk about the double cross because this is
where his partner, Rich, whatever rich Polish name shows up.
What do you stop for coffee and? Where's everybody else? How'd you get in here?
I'm tricky.
There's no indication of this to us. There's no reason we would have any suspicion that his partner was crooked, but turns out his partner was crooked and was working with him the whole time.
Oh, Rich.
There's an easy way, and there's a hard way.
And so he's going to have to kill Dean Cain because Dean Cain knows him, obviously, and would rat him out and that sort of thing.
You're not gonna shoot me, Rich.
You think I wanna? If I had any idea it'd come to this, I never would have signed on.
It's not too late.
And then a bomb. His wife shows up and ends up saving his life, Dean Cain's life.
She correctly says, "What the hell am I doing?"
Yeah, which is good.
Oh my God, what am I doing?
But then they blow up the thing to blow a hole to get to the tunnels, and the blast kills his partner, I guess. Yeah. And so they get down, and this is the go-kart part. And I was like, this is the thing about this scene with the go-karts. When they wrote this in a script, it probably sounded really cool. Like, oh, they get into these tunnels under the city, and there are off-road go-karts down there, and it's this fucking high-speed chase through these tunnels. And then they went to film it, and it's grown men riding around in go-karts.
Little bitty go-karts. Like, Dean Cain's like, guys just scrunched up in there.
And they're driving like 10 miles an hour through these tunnels in very much low-speed chase. God. But they have to film it. They're trying to make it look so intense and action-packed.
Hey! He's after us!
In high speed.
What movie is it where they had like a Segway chase or something like that? It's
like an Austin Powers movie, probably.
Yeah, it's yes.
They're coming!
Hang on, I'm gonna floor it! Watch out! Move! Move! Move!
Careful, Austin!
I think, yeah.
They have like a super slow speed chase.
Well, I think it's the one where they're like driving like little like because it's the one where I think it's the second one where Austin Powers is driving and it's like a little like a thing you use to move luggage at the airport. It's like one of those, and he's chasing somebody else in it, and then it's the one where he gets stuck in the hallway and can't get out. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, it's just they're so little. They're just like so stupid. So they end up
his wife is taken capture again.
Oh yeah, he's got his wife again at this point because they grabbed her after the bomb went off.
Kid Blast drops the grenade in the tunnel.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Like, this should start caving in streets and stuff. What the hell?
Maybe they're far enough underground, I guess. But yeah, and so it causes the thing, and Dean Cain has to turn around and try to find a different way to get to him. And then they hit a dead end because apparently part of the tunnel got closed up and they didn't know about it, so they have to turn around.
Like, why don't you have explosives?
Yeah, just blow another hole in it. Anyways, so they so this sets up that they're gonna be coming at each other somehow through the miracle of nonsense. And so they're driving directly at each other. We get a sweet high-speed go-kart chicken game. And Eric Roberts pulls out a gun and is shooting at him. And then as he drives by, Dean Cain shoots and kills Kid Blast. And then turns around and goes after Eric Roberts and his wife. And in the moment in this scene, and this is like the perfect, I can't believe they left this shot in because it's the perfect, like, yep, this is about how stupid I knew this would look. Dean Cain has to turn around to chase after them, and he's got his foot out the side of the go-kart and is pushing it to turn it around. It's so stupid. I love it. It's so fucking stupid. Oh, and then he gets to a fork in the road, and he doesn't know which way they went, so he listens, and he can hear. I was like, did he just call back to his Superman days and his super hearing to figure out where they were going? Oh my god. And then so eventually they stop and he goes up through this old building and she drops her necklace so he knows where or her cross or crucifix so she knows where they were. But here's the thing that doesn't make any sense about this scene to me. After Eric Roberts and them, or he puts the go-kart back and then he puts like a brick on the thing so it just keeps driving. And then they climb up the ladder. Why does Dean Cain just randomly stop at that place? Like the tracks.
Because he's Superman.
The tracks from that go-kart would still have been going, and he could still hear the go-kart going probably ahead of him. But for some reason, he stops, looks around, and it's like, her necklace from across the room. Yes. Like, wow, all right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, his Superman skills.
But he gets up there, and he's finally able to get a call out, so he can finally get some backup coming in here after he's killed everybody except one.
Except one.
I'm in pursuit of armed kidnappers inside the Wrigley Building boiler room and adjacent maintenance tunnels. Requesting.
Oh, this is also great. So he calls for backup, and a cop car stops up on the street.
It has 4 people in it.
Officer needs assistance. Shots fired.
This is 028. We'll take that call.
Like that doesn't happen at all. What?
I lost it. The moment they stop and they all get out and all the doors open and cops got out of I was like, they don't ride in the back of patrol cars going around them.
It's 2 per car in major cities.
Yeah, in major cities they do too. They don't have guys in the back seat hanging out. Okay. I like Googled to make sure that wasn't a thing, and it wasn't. And I was like, that's so stupid.
Dean Cain finally catches up with them.
Yeah, because her heel gets stuck in a grate.
And in the most seizure-inducing fight ever.
Strobe fighting.
Warning for people who have epilepsy.
Epilepsy. Strobe fighting. They fight sweet like Mortal Kombat style strobe light fight, and then it all goes black, and Eric Roberts is gone.
Yep.
I don't see a thing. Wait a second. Sure. I think we got Lieutenant Morgan. Where'd he go?
But then they just find him again.
Yeah, immediately find him.
He's like, where'd he go? Shh. And then the next scene,
spotlight.
They got him.
Shush.
Entering Michigan Tunnel.
They're like, oh, we found you. Okay, cool. And then so he puts down his gun, and at this point, Dean Cain's a good guy. He doesn't want him.
Well, he's got like a bunch of laser pointers on him, like laser.
The SWAT team showed up or whatever. Yeah.
And so it's at some point you got to be like, well, shit.
Yeah. And what I thought was gonna happen, because he goes, remember, think of your kid. He needs you.
Think of your boy. Anthony needs you.
I thought we were gonna have like a life insurance thing where he was going to commit suicide by police, and now maybe you wouldn't, if you did it in the act of committing a crime, you might not get that life insurance reimbursement, but I thought they might kind of like gloss over that somehow.
Brian Shilligo, legal expert.
I assume there's probably some stipulation, like if you're killed or die while like committing a bunch of felonies, like your kids don't get your life insurance money. I don't know, but I thought maybe that was where they were gonna go. But no, he just decides to try to get away because the boat, there's a getaway boat that we didn't know about, is right there, and so he tries to jump up and climb.
Well, not only is there a getaway boat right there, how many seats are in that getaway boat?
2.
How many people were a part of the team?
Oh yeah, a lot more than that.
I think he was going to kill them off as he went through. He's going to do a little Dark Knight.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, because what was the point of the whole truck thing?
I'll send a tow. Keep it warm.
Hey, how long do I gotta keep it warm for?
Go.
You got 1 hour.
In the tow truck.
I have
okay.
Whatever. This movie stopped making sense.
Yeah. So then he tries to get away, climb the ladder, and gets shot a bunch of times.
Yes.
And then dies.
He keeps trying to climb the ladder.
It's really sad. It's really sad. Like they hang on it for a long time of him like, I gotta save my kid. I'm like, oh God, this is horrible. And then he ends up dying, but he tells Dean Cain, he's like, tell my kid I love him. Or something like that. He whispers in his ear.
And
cut to hospital.
I would love to cut to the guy out waiting for the tow truck. He's just like, so
what do I do? I guess this means it didn't go to plan.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, so they're in the oncology center
ward,
where whatever hospital they're in.
Yeah, where the kid is.
Is he getting treatment?
He's not getting anything yet, but he's sitting there.
Yeah. With Dean Cain and wife looking on, it's like, yep, that's not our child, and he's slowly dying.
That's that dead kid.
Yep.
It's that leukemia kid. The doctor walks up to his mom and says, look, we found a match. Because he needs a bone marrow transplant.
But there's financial problems. No hospital will ever do this.
No. We found a match, but you're too poor. Sorry.
Yes. Oh, what?
To be frank, Lieutenant, there are unresolved financial issues.
Like, it's just such a weird, and in front of random strangers, too. Like, Dean Cain is just standing there.
There's literally laws on the books that prevent people from denying treatment for things of pain. Now, they have to pay.
Yeah, no, they would just be broke forever, but they would still do it, I think. I don't know. Yeah, she would just be in lifetime for debilitating and crushing debt.
Welcome to America.
Yeah, welcome to America. But then randomly the whole police department shows up.
Yes. Like
the chief and everybody.
The chief and just like 14,000 reporters.
Yeah. And they walk up to Dean Cain and they're like,
here's your badge, you're reinstated.
Yeah, you're reinstated, Captain.
Merry Christmas, Captain Morgan.
He got promoted.
Yeah.
While he was suspended, which seems weird, but and then he goes, and the insurance company, the police insurance, whatever it's called, he just calls it like police insurance, got a little here, good boy, whatever.
Here's a little attaboy from the Chicago Police Insurance Company.
And it's a check for $200,000.
When I saw that, I was like, I think they're still short 50,000. Because it was like $250,000 for the whole procedure. I was like,
yeah, you're right.
It's not quite helping them.
He needs a bone marrow transplant. It's going to cost $250,000.
Not quite.
But he just like hands him the check without endorsing it. And, and that's it. And just like, okay, this is just paper.
Is that how you think that works? You got to sign it, bud. But he just like, all right, and hands it to him. And so
easy
the kid's,
come, easy go.
Yeah, so the kid's gonna get his life-saving treatment. Dean Cain's still gonna be in debilitating debt, and his kids are gonna have to go to public school like fucking dirty poor people. But
well, no, he got the promotion in the captain's job that his wife wanted.
Yeah, that's right, because he needed to go to captain's school or whatever.
Well, the thing is, he aced all the written stuff.
Oh, is that what it was?
The field test because he was a loose cannon.
Oh, yeah, loose cannon! Yeah, loose cannon, Cain! You're off the force.
Captain Cornelius Morgan.
Captain Cornelius Morgan. of the Nebuchadnezzar. Like he sounds like a fucking old timey ship captain. The
Nebuchadnezzar, the Matrix.
Yeah, it is from the Matrix. Which he also sounds like he could be a Matrix character. And then they have a nice Christmas dinner and say a little prayer. The end, happy, and like that last shot is lit so insanely.
Holy shit. I was like, why do you guys have construction lights behind you?
What is that? It's just like, I guess it's supposed to be like a sunset, but it's like, all this crazy light coming in. The end. This movie's tough. Because I don't know what I would call it.
Because there's a lot of weird, goofy stuff that happens.
It wasn't boring. I didn't ever really find it boring.
It's the crazy one because you have incredibly stupid stuff like that old lady that wanders in. And you're just like, that's something that makes it good bad.
Yeah.
Because like that's an incredibly stupid thing.
Yeah, and like guys doing random flips off walls for no reason, and like other stuff like that, that's funny and stupid. But it's also not, like I said, it's not boring. It's not terrible. It's pretty. The action sequences are pretty entertaining and like it's shot pretty well.
Like the gunfights are good.
They're good. I wouldn't say great, but they're fine. They're very serviceable. It's very good stunt work. It's a little excessive use of slow mo, but that's a sign of the times more than anything in particular with the movie. And so it's not bad. I guess I'll say good bad, but like not really.
Yeah, it's good bad, bordering on just being kind of meh.
It's like the thing. It's like it's not. If it were more boring, it would be bad. If it were more silly, it would be good bad. But it's like right in that borderline middle spot where it's kind of like No Contest a little bit, where it's just like right in that middle. It's a very similar movie, like the same movie somehow.
So I wanted to do a Dean Cain film for a while, just because Dean Cain has a long list of
terrible
cheesy
films,
independent films.
Yeah,
and because he's Dean Cain. And I'm sure I have like a shrine or something in my place where I just worship him. I don't know why.
You sure you do, or you do?
What?
You're the one who would know, Kyle.
And I just want to add this little extra piece that people don't know about Dean Cain. Cue him wrecking people in Princeton. Just do it. Just do it.
All right, fine. I'll put it in. So yeah, that was Christmas Rush / Breakaway, Dean Cain's finest film.
Yes.
Probably, honestly. I don't know what
I was really wanting to do like Militia, but Militia was kind of also in this same category as not boring and not
bad,
great,
not good, but
But
this one's at least Christmas themed. So.
Militia literally steals footage from Terminator 2.
Does it really?
Yes.
It's fantastic. That's awesome. I think my favorite thing about this movie is we got to learn about Alex Polovich and his glorious bloodline.
That's an amazing bio.
So great. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. This time, truly, have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy Holidays, whatever else is going on this time of year. We'll see you in 2018.
Oh boy, we'll see.
We got a
how much
doozy
better that comes
for the first episode of 2018. We got a doozy. Get
ready for
prepared. Get ready to go back in time.